Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Liberty again. Guys, I just finished filming another video, this makeup look video. So if you see another video me wearing the same outfit, I don't know if the video is gonna be before this or after this one. Just know that I filmed two videos the same time, same day, and I just couldn't be bothered to change just because I want to make another video. It didn't make sense to me. So guys, like the title of this video says, I got scammed of £350 in London. Yes guys, it happened to me. The reason why I am doing this story time, so yesterday me and my sister, we were watching the Tinder Swindler on Netflix. Guys, the entire documentary, we were just like, oh my god, what is happening? Why? It was just like this. So then I remember something not really similar to that. Well, something happened to me that it took me a while to forget like what really happened to me. Like someone just scammed me of a £350. I know for some people they will say £350 is nothing, but for me it's a lot of money. So it took me like really to process the whole thing, that I got scammed. Like they run me street, somebody that I just met the same day, and the guy run me street like that. I couldn't believe. Do you understand? And it's not gonna lie to you, it took me like almost a month to forget about it. I don't even think I've told this story to anyone. And that time I was staying in London with my friend, I didn't tell her anything because I knew she would kill me. So I just kept quiet. So when we were watching the movie, the documentary yesterday, my sister was like, one of my sisters was like, why is she doing that? Oh my gosh, she's doing that again. And in my head, I was like, you know what, never judge if you've never been in the same situation. Never. I remember there are certain things I said before. Oh me, this can never happen to me. I was telling my friend like, nah, this can never happen to me. And guess what, it happened to me, and even much more worse. So please don't judge if you've never really been into a similar situation in life. So here is my story of how I got scammed of £350. So I was going for shopping because I was traveling in the next 2 days and I needed to get a few stuff before traveling. And so I decided that day to go to the city. I went, and when I was walking, I saw this guy. And you know when you look at someone once and then you're like, you look at the person again. So that's what happened. But the guy was also looking at me, and I was like, oh wow, he's cute. Don't judge me yet. He did not scam me of the money because he was cute. No, that's off the point. So when I looked at him and I saw that he was looking at me, then I quickly turned back and entered Victoria's Secret because I wanted to get some body spray and some nighties. Guess what guys, the guy was actually on the other side, and then he crossed the street and also entered Victoria's Secret. And I was like, oh, I saw him behind me, and I was like, oh okay, maybe he's coming to get something for his girl. I don't know. I didn't bother. So I went into the fitting room. I wanted to try some nighties, and so I needed someone to help me with my what I was trying on. And when I opened the curtains, I saw the guy, and I was like, oh. He was like, hi, how are you? You okay? Do you need help? And I was like, oh yes, I do need help. I said, okay, don't worry, I'm gonna call someone. I was like, this guy works here. Anyway, so he actually helped and he called someone. The lady came, she helped me. So fast forward, I finished getting what I wanted to get. So when I was going to pay for myself, but when I was going, the guy was like, oh excuse me, can I speak to you for a second? I was like, okay, no problem. He came to, oh, what's your name? You look familiar. Are you American? And then I looked at him very well. He was actually looking also familiar. And I was like, no, I'm not American. And he was like, oh, where are you from? I'm like, I'm from Burundi, but I live here. He was like, oh, you really look familiar. You look like this girl. And he was trying to explain to me He then said the reason why I came into Victoria's Secret is because I really wanted to be sure if you're the same person. I was like, no. Guess what, guys? This guy, when he was talking to me, he actually looked like someone I know. Then I was like, you look like a friend. He was like, oh, are you serious? Guys, I'm not even making this up. I swear this guy looked like someone I know. Only that he was a bit bigger than the guy that I know. And I actually even show him on Facebook. I show him the guy. I'm like, can you see? He was like, oh yeah, that's right, we have the same face structure, blah blah blah, but he's a bit small. Like, yeah, that's what I'm saying. He was like, oh, that's scary, we actually look alike, only that I am bigger. Like he said, we really look alike, we could pass for brothers. And then we all laughed. Guys, guess what? This guy asked me, oh, where are you going next? Are you done with your shopping? No, I want to go to Selfridges. I still need to get some few stuff, and then from there I will go back home. Then this is where this guy introduced himself to me. I really forgot his name. I can't lie, I forgot his name. And he said he's in Bruno Mars entourage. They just came for the concert. By the way, it was in April 2017. Bruno Mars concert in London. He was like, are you a fan of Bruno Mars? I'm not really, but I really like the guy. I like most of his songs. So he was, oh, would you like to come with me to his concert? It's tonight. I was like, no, unfortunately I can't, because I have few things that I need to sort out, so I'll be very busy this evening. We went to Selfridges, guys. I first went to a MAC. I wanted to get makeup, so I went there. And I also went to get a bag. I forgot, but this guy was just following me. He didn't buy anything. I picked up my back massage something. So basically this guy was just following me. Guys, it's coming. Listen to this. I finished getting my stuff and I wanted to leave. It was time for me to leave. So I told him like, oh, I don't have anything, I'm buying again, I'm done, so I need to go. He was like, oh, okay, that's fine. We were working out. He saw one t-shirt and then he went to check it. It was Alexander McQueen, I remember that. And he was like, oh, I actually need to get something for Bruno Mars. I was like, oh, okay. Then I stood by the side and this guy was just checking t-shirt, and this is where this guy came and he was like, oh, I have a problem with my, I can't remember specifically what he said about his card, but he couldn't use it and he didn't have enough cash. So he said if I could borrow him, if I could just give him some money when he will call the driver to come and pick him, then the driver will give me the cash. He will tell the driver to get the cash for me. At first I was like, you know what, it's okay. I gave him 350. It was 350, guys. I gave him the 350. I didn't feel like this guy was gonna take my money, and I looked at him. He had already he had two bags. He had one LV and he had a Dior bag, so big bags. So I was like, how is this one going to run away with my 350? Somebody that has something worth of 2K. I was like, okay. I gave him the money. He paid for the t-shirt, and then we were going outside and he was really calling the driver, and the driver did not pick the call. So we were outside waiting for him, and then we were just opposite outdoor, and I saw one nice bag, a white one, very small, and I was like, okay, I think it's gonna take time, and you know London with traffic. And I was like, I'm just going to pop in there, get that bag, and then I will come. He was like, oh, I'm just here, no worries. That's where I made a mistake, guys. I shouldn't have left the guy. So I went into outdoor and I looked back and he was still there. So I went to pick the bag. And then I saw nice slippers again. I picked the slippers. So I went to pay. No, I remember we exchanged numbers. So he asked me for my number. I was like, at first, like, number is too fast, but they were like, fuck it, you know, I don't care. I gave him my number, so we exchanged number that same day. What shocked me, guys, the number was a UK number and it was also working on WhatsApp. And but I realized later that it was working on WhatsApp when I go home. So I really didn't think about too much stuff then, but it's when I was at home I started just remembering everything. I was like, oh gosh, this guy was really a scammer, and maybe he has done this so many times. Maybe this is how he scam people. Do you understand? This is how he scam girls. I was trying the slippers. The guy called me and he was like, oh, you know what, I'm going into the next shop. When you finish, just call me. I was like, okay, that's fine. When I finished paying for all the stuff, and then that's where I called the guy did not pick, and I went outside. I couldn't see the guy. I panicked for a minute. I called him again. He did not pick up, and then I was like, okay, let me just waste time here. I went into another shop, and I went into Primark. I was just looking around. I called this guy. Then this guy called me back. He was like, oh, sorry babes, something came up. Bruno Mars is almost late. I needed to rush, so I didn't even wait for the driver again. I took a taxi. I'm on my way back to the hotel, no, to the apartment. I was like, oh, why didn't you call me? Because I was literally closer. You could have called or just come into order and say I'm leaving. Guys, that's where I found everything very weird. Guys, that's when the whole vibe just felt very weird to me. And then I went home and I just said, okay, let me relax, let me wait for these guys call. Now they are very busy. It was already around 5, so maybe they're getting busy, they're getting ready for the concert, blah 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 blah. And then around 8, this guy called. He said, Liberty, I'm really sorry I left like that. I was hoping to have late lunch with you after the shopping and everything, but don't worry. He was like, oh, can you come later this evening to our place? I'm like, no, I'm tired, like I told you before. I don't want to step out today. He was like, oh, I can send a driver to pick you and drop you. I was like, nah, I'm just gonna be inside today. He was like, okay, no problem, just send me your account so I can transfer you the money, and I'm gonna transfer extra to appreciate you, blah blah blah. I was like, oh guys, basically what happened in that documentary, that's what this guy did to me. I gave him 350 pounds, and he was telling me he's gonna give me extra to appreciate me. I was kind enough. I could have said no, blah blah blah. I was happy. So it was around 8. I sent the account and I was actually like relieved a bit, like I'm going to get my money back. This guy is 9. Guys, I need a drink. So it's 9, 10, and me, normally I'm a very calm person, and I don't really like to feel like I'm bothering people, like I'm disturbing people, even though I know it's my right, blah blah blah. I just like to take things very slowly. And yeah, so it was around 10. I was like, oh, this is weird. He hasn't, so maybe he forgot. I just sent him a message, and that's when I found out that the number is also on WhatsApp. I was like, how come an American just came for Bruno's he's in Bruno Mars entourage, and he has, maybe, guys, I just didn't want to think too much. I was like, okay. I was like, oh hi. I was like, hi, good evening, how are you doing? I just wanted to remind you of the money. Good night. Guys, tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. I woke up with a 0 credit alert, and I was like, okay, this is becoming very very irritating. And I just rang the guy. I was very calm and I said, good morning, I don't understand what is happening, but I'm just not happy. Well, I sent you my account yesterday, and a transfer can literally take less than 2 minutes. So I don't understand why I haven't received my money. He was like, oh sorry, you know, yesterday we were busy. I'm like, okay, just tell the guy, or just tell the guy to send the money now. He was like, okay, don't worry, this is very embarrassing, I'm not blah blah blah, I'm not happy. I was like, just call the driver and tell him to send me my money. Guys, that was it. That's how this guy didn't send the money again. And I called him, he didn't pick my calls. And the next day I was traveling. I just decided to close that chapter, to forget everything. But deep inside me, I was really hurt, and I felt very stupid. Like how can someone just scam me like that? And the worst part is that he didn't even buy me coffee or the lunch that he was talking about. So he just took my money like somebody. Guys, I felt very bad. I really even talked bad about myself. I was just telling myself, you're very stupid. You know, you are very stupid. Like, how can you do that? But again, this is what happened. Like in that documentary, the Tinder swindler. That guy, he invited the girl on a first date, and on that same day they traveled to Bulgaria by private jet, guys. So there are certain things that will happen to you and will be like, oh, he cannot do that, oh, he cannot do that. That's exactly what happened to me. And I just remember that this guy actually saw that I had money, so he saw that I was paying everything cash. And when he asked me for that money, I was like, this guy has 2 bags, one Dior and LV. I'm like, how on earth this can happen? And now I just realized now, like, maybe those bags were empty. Maybe this is what he does normally. He just walk around, you know, with those big bags, empty bags, just to see how he can scam people for money. So, you know, so that's why I said don't judge. But even though I know in that in that documentary, that Cecilia really went too far. Because if it was me, I am not judging, but if it was me, that same day, if the guy was to say, oh, please, can you give me like 200 pounds or 500 pounds, I would like, no, boo boo, I can't do that, sorry, I know I don't have money again, or I'm buying something now. That's what would have happened. But again, I'm not in any place to judge anybody. This is how I just feel. So basically, guys, I got scammed of £350 for a Bruno Mars t-shirt. Guys, I just wish this video could get to Bruno Mars so I can get my £350. I'm not even joking. Like, I want my money back. A whole me, someone just a whole me getting scammed. I don't know how this video could get to Bruno Mars, because I want my £350 back. Let him ask his whole entourage of 2017 tour in London. I can't remember his name, but I'm very sure 100% that I still remember his face. Guys, talking about this just made me feel angry again. Not really angry, but more stupid again. Do you understand? Like, how a whole me, someone just do you understand? Like, I just don't understand, guys. But anyway, guys, it's already happened. It's in the past, and I've already made peace with that. I just wanted to share this video with you guys, and maybe there are some other women out there that this same thing happened to them. We never know. So if you know someone, if you happen to watch this video and you know someone that this particular thing happened to her, please comment down below. Let me know and see if we can find this guy. Oh my god. But anyway, guys, this was my story. My advice in this, guys, is just to be more careful and not to be too naive or innocent, and try not to be careless, because £350 is too much money. And if I wasn't careless, I would have gotten my money back. So I just wish that I never went into Aldo, because if I didn't go into Aldo, this would have never happened, trust me, because it was going to be ton pied mon pied, your step my step. That's how it was going to be. But again, I didn't think of that at that time, and yeah, and this is what happened. All right guys, this is the end of my story time, and I hope you're gonna enjoy this as much as I enjoy telling the story, and I hope I'm gonna talk to you guys in my next video very soon. Before you leave, if you haven't subscribed guys, please subscribe, like, share, comment this video, just do everything, but just don't leave without doing anything. All right guys, thank you for watching. Bisous, bye.